Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone around the world. Welcome to the Season of Creation show. Hope everyone is doing well. Great to be with you again. My name is Jonathan Braden. I'm a writer for the Global Catholic Climate Movement, and we are so thrilled you are with us on this September 7th here as we get the Season of Creation, the second week started. Thank you so much for joining us. And tonight we will talk about tomorrow, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever it is for you. We're going to talk about last week, how we kicked off the Season of Creation with so much momentum, with thousands of people deciding to care for creation, to step up and do the right thing for creation. And we're also going to look ahead to what is next for the Season of Creation. And we'll get right into it to show you the incredible momentum that the world, Christians around the world, created during the first week of the Season of Creation. And as we discussed before, this Season of Creation show will come on. We will do this once every week, Monday nights, Monday afternoon, whatever time works for you, whatever time it is for you. And last week, right before the Season of Creation, we heard from Pope Francis and other world religious leaders across the globe. And Pope Francis used his prayer intention to talk about the Season of Creation. And I'm going to actually go back to make sure the audio is playing here. There we go. And let's hear from Pope Francis. He used his prayer intention to talk about the need to care for creation, and he forcefully spoke out actually against acts of plundering against God's creation and called on all people to take action to protect God's gifts today, not tomorrow, today. So let's hear from Pope Francis here.
Estamos exprimiendo los bienes del planeta, exprimiéndolos, como si fuera una naranja. Países y empresas del norte se han enriquecido explotando dones naturales del sur, generando una deuda ecológica. ¿Quién va a pagar esta deuda? Además, la deuda ecológica se agranda cuando multinacionales hacen fuera de sus países lo que no se les permite hacer en los suyos. Es indignante. Hoy, no mañana, hoy tenemos que cuidar la creación con responsabilidad. Recemos para que los bienes del planeta no sean saqueados, sino que se compartan de manera justa y respetuosa. No al saqueo, sí al compartir.
So as Pope Francis remarked, it is time to yes to sharing, no to plundering. The next day, we kicked it off with the Season of Creation. Christians around the world kicked the season off, launched the season with the Day of Prayer, the Worldwide Day of Prayer, the care of creation. Youth from around the globe led this service that we will see soon. And we entered the first day of the Season of Creation with this year's theme at front of mind. This year's theme is a jubilee for the earth. It invites us to consider the integral relationship between rest for the earth and ecological, economic, social, and political ways of living. This particular year, the need for just and sustainable systems has been revealed by the far-reaching effects of the global COVID-19 pandemic. And before we go any further, if watching at home, or listening at home, feel free to comment in the section or wherever you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. And thank you to all those people who are watching the replay hours from now. So, and in this prayer service, youth from different churches, congregations, and organizations from around the world joined and led the prayer service, including youth from the Great Anglicans Movement of Kenya, the ACT Alliance, Global Catholic Climate Movement, Lutheran World Federation, the Young Christian Climate Network, Anglican Students Federation of Southern Africa, Church of South India, the World Communion of Reformed Churches, the World Council of Churches, and Green Anglicans. And now we will hear from these youth, inspiring youth, right now.
We gather in the name of Redeemer,
who reconciles all creation.
we gather in life,
who inspires new life and renews it.
Viumbe vyote vya Mungu wetu na mfalme wetu, viumbe vyote vya Mungu wetu na mfalme wetu, pazeni sauti ili nasi mwimbe, pazeni sauti ili nasi mwimbe. Watu wote, viumbe vyote, awaye yote, sifu Mungu. Watu wote, viumbe vyote, awaye yote, sifu Mungu.
That was a season of creation. The global ecumenical online prayer service took place September 1st, and I don't know about you all, but I could have listened to that all day. It was a beautiful prayer service, and it was led by youth from around the world, as we said, and a really magical moment of the world coming together to launch the season of creation. The next day, the season of creation continued with a webinar about the just transition for Asia, Pacific, and Oceania. Now, once a week during this season of creation, we'll unite in solidarity and learn from world-renowned speakers about how the ongoing crisis of COVID-19 and the climate emergency are affecting different regions of the world. Last week, we focused on Asia, Pacific, and Oceania. This week, we are going to be focusing on the continent of Africa. With the growing appetite for coal, oil, gas investments in Africa, there's a need to define the true cost of energy investments and the morality of investing in the fossil fuel industry. Does Africa have alternate energy pathways for its growth, or will it require more work from people taking part in the season of creation and Christians around the world to make sure that the morality of fossil fuel, that the true morality of the fossil fuel industry, if those decisions, is taken account of? Hello, Carmen. Thank you for saying hello. This season of creation webinar is going to take place Thursday. So it's 4 p.m. Nairobi time, 3 p.m. Rome, and 9 a.m. New York time. Important detail here, the webinar will be held in English, but simultaneously interpreted to French, Spanish, Italian, Polish, and Portuguese. Again, the webinar, as you can see on your screen, will have a incredible lineup of speakers, on-the-ground leaders, informing everyone and talking about the need for the continent of Africa to develop more renewable energy sources and to choose the morally just path. This webinar, again, will be held in English. Hello, Veronica. This webinar will be held in English and simultaneously interpreted to French, Spanish, Italian, Polish, and Portuguese. And just to give you all a sense of a webinar, we're going to go back actually to the Season of Creation webinar that took place last week. It was about a just transition for Asia, Pacific, and Oceania. And we'll hear from one of the incredible speakers that we had, Edwin Garrigues, who is the 2012 Goldman Environmental Prize recipient. We're going to share that now. Powerful message about climate change, COVID-19,
And
in the region.
the challenge for us in the church, as our good cardinal posed in his message during Easter, to counter this pandemic, what we need is to spread another kind of virus. And he's referring to pandemic of hope, caring, compassion, and love. So this is a challenge for the church to reach out to the affected population, to the most vulnerable sectors of society, and he enumerated some of them: the farmers, the migrants, the refugees, the children, the elderly, people with disabilities, and the people who really they earn their living day to day, the daily wage earners. They really do not have anything to eat because they do not have to work. So this is a big challenge for us. And next, please. We need to understand that this situation, this kind of crisis, this pandemic situation, is already, as Archbishop Peter also explained, this is already exacerbating or worsening the already existing climate vulnerability that we have. As we know, this is vulnerable countries in terms of climate impacts. And the pandemic crisis, we are already at risk, but the pandemic crisis adds up to the layer of burden for the poor and the most vulnerable communities. And this is happening as in our case, as in other countries in Asia as well.
So a powerful message there from Father Edwin about the ongoing crisis of COVID-19 pandemic and the climate emergency in the Philippines. And that is just a little sample of what we learned last week during the first Season of Creation webinar. Again, every week during the Season of Creation, we will be coming together, uniting in solidarity and learning from world-renowned speakers about how the ongoing crisis of COVID-19 and the climate emergency are affecting different regions of the world. And just one more reminder about Thursday, the webinar Refueling Africa Through Ethical Investments. Saturday, we will be having another Season of Creation event. It's just 2, 3, there's dozens and dozens of events that are taking place. These are just the featured events that we're getting into. Thursday will be the webinar. And Saturday, there will be a Laudato Si retreat. It's an introductory immersion. As Pope Francis said in the Laudato Si encyclical, the ecological crisis is a summons to a profound interior conversion and ecological conversion. The goal of the Laudato Si retreat will be to help participants embark on this journey of ecological conversion and to transform the way we relate to our Creator, to all of creation, and our most vulnerable brothers and sisters. So I encourage you, if you have interest in that, we invite you to go to seasonofcreation.org/events. Again, Thursday, so we can keep building this powerful momentum of this movement of caring for creation. We invite you Thursday to make time for the Refueling Africa Through Ethical Investments. Hello, Carlos, welcome. And Saturday, the Laudato Si retreat. So 2 big events this week, and there's dozens and dozens, hundreds actually, there's hundreds of more events that you can find at seasonofcreation.org/events. There's probably events in Guadalajara, where Carlos is from, and Carmen and Veronica and the other people listening in. There's surely events where you're taking place, either online or where you're at, whether online or in person, or you can register your own events. We encourage you to do that as well. Again, all of the information you would need is at seasonofcreation.org/events. This is where you can find us on social media. And again, tell us your news, share your news with us at Season of Creation, #Season of Creation, #SOC2020. So thank you again for tuning in to the Season of Creation show. We will see you next week with more exciting news about the annual celebration of prayer and action for our common home. God bless. Thank you.